Hey, in today's video, I want to take you through my process on how I'm using iClone Live Link, linking my iClone characters with animation into Unreal Engine 4, and how those are basically being controlled, and how you record cinematic footage with real-time rendering in Unreal Engine using the Live Link plugin. Right now, LiveLink is free to indie users, so go over to Reallusion and download that plugin if you're using iClone for animation. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. I plan on producing a lot more videos kind of surrounding this 3D character content and Unreal Engine using iClone 7. So thanks for watching. Let's jump right into the video here. But first things first, the first thing you want to do is go into Character Creator and actually create the character that you're going to use inside of iClone and ultimately inside Unreal Engine. So I played around with creating a character and kind of tweaking the facial features of this character, applied a couple garments to him, and it just shows you how easily you can take characters and adjust their facial features inside of Character Creator. It really makes it super easy to change these the elements that could really give a very different look to each person that you want to create here. So just drag and pull out certain features or suppress certain features. It's pretty easy to do. But once you've got your character set up, you're going to add some hair to him. I'm going to quickly also adjust the color of the hair once this gets applied, something a little bit funkier. So you can go to the Modify tab and change the colors. There's two ways. You can actually launch the texture in Photoshop, do your adjustments in there, or you can actually just use a slider inside of the app itself. So now that you got your character, you can see you can quickly add some different positions to your character just to see how they're going to look in different positions. If you're satisfied with your character, then you can actually export this directly to iClone to use in the iClone 7 software, which we're going to be linking up to Unreal Engine in this video. So first thing, I want to save this character so I can reuse him whenever I need to. And then I'm going to use the send character to iClone button here just to directly send this character and all the materials directly into iClone 7. So it takes a little time to process, but then you get this figure inside your iClone 7. This is where you want to add all your animations, cameras, things like that. But what we're really interested in doing is linking up this character to Unreal. So I'm going to add just a quick animation to this guy. You can see that really there's a lot of in-depth stuff you can do as far as animating your characters.
Then we would need to take it up with the users and the fans.
Adding audio, lip syncing, all that kind of stuff. Live face tracking, which I'm going to do a video on the face tracking feature with the iPhone and how you can actually control your character's face by kind of acting out the part yourself. So let me close Character Creator. I'm going to open Unreal Engine. We're going to choose the game, new project, and choose third person. This is the best template that seems to work best. You can turn ray tracing on, leave it off, whatever you want to do. I think I turned it on in this first example, but then ended up turning it off in another project. The actual final result, it has to kind of render and compile the shaders and all that kind of stuff. Now up at top, you'll see that I'm missing the plugins for the Reallusion Live Link. So you want to go to your plugins folder and enable that after you've installed that Live Link plugin, which you can download from the Reallusion website. So enable that Live Link. You got to restart the program, and then you see you've got a little icon up there with some additional features, but we're still missing one more thing, and that is the character and iClone auto setup, which you can download that program, run it for the first time. Once you run it, it actually stopped my recording, but you basically run that and it installs and then opens up a folder where you have to take this content, 2 folders, and copy it into another folder. But before we do that, let's check out the CPU. We want to make sure that this is unchecked so that when we do link the two, they're updating quickly and not lagging behind. So I'm going to close this, open up the project here, my project 3, and I'm getting a lot of crashes whenever I close stuff. But go to the folder where you saved your configurations that I was just talking about installing. It creates a content and a plugin folder for the version of Unreal that you're using. You want to copy that into your project. And now when you open up Unreal, you'll see you've got a new button there. If you open up that project that you copied those 2 folders into, now it's called CC Setup. So you need that, and you need the iClone Live Link, both of them. So the first thing you want to do is create the origin point. And this is like the origin point matching up to your iClone 7 origin point. So you can locate this anywhere inside your space, rotate it, whatever, and it'll pull in information from iClone 7. So if you go back to iClone 7, open Unreal Live Link, you want to select the items that you want to transfer over and hit transfer file. Now this takes a long time because they're compiling the shaders and everything, but you want to make sure you have Unreal Engine open. You already have that point, that origin point inserted, so it's going to insert your model into that location there, and you can see it all comes in and turns on your editor active camera, the camera that you copied over. So just select outside of that, go up to this guy. We want to actually delete this one because this one is not the one we want to use. So you delete him from the project, just select him, press delete. And what we want to do is look down, and the one that it brings in is the blueprint one. This has all the information that ties that character to iClone. So we want to attach this to the iClone origin by just selecting and right clicking and say attach. And then we want to go to window and open Live Link, and you can see I've already got it open here on a tab, and we're going to do new source iClone Live Link. Click that, and it'll link up to the computer that you're currently using to run iClone. You can see it just adds it there in the menu. So now we're almost linked up. We want to go through and select all the things that we want to link up. So I got the camera and the person, and we link enabled, and you can see it jumps into matching the same position as the character here. We're not currently in the same camera view, so if you move this camera around, you can see it's not moving in Unreal. But if you play the character, you can see that it's performing the same actions in real time as the other. So what you need to do is activate the pilot. You need to pilot the camera. So you select the camera, right click, and say pilot and the camera name, and then it matches up directly to the iClone image there. So anything you play, iClone will actually play in the Unreal Engine. And you can see our little point light we have there is not showing up. So you can transfer lights, any kind of stuff over So I think we'll do that in a minute here. But you can see you've got the person, but in Unreal there's actually objects in the way. So you want to keep a understanding that you may be behind someone. So we're going to transfer the file, this light over. You can see it comes into Unreal over there. You're already linking, so you don't really need to do any more anything other than that. So I'm going to quickly change this weird thumb hand position to a fist at the end of this animation. So after he finishes doing his animation, he just closes his hand into a fist. You can see how easily animations are added in iClone, which makes this like super nice to use for rendering digital animations. So we're going to open up a sequence recorder here. And there's a couple things you need to do. First thing you need to add is the iClone origin after you save, because sometimes it crashes. So you want to open, let's see, iClone origin, select that, and add that to the sequence recorder. After you add that, you can add the other items that you want to record, the actor, the camera, the point light if you want to. Anything that has motion inside of iClone, you basically want to add this because you're recording that motion action so that you can export this to a video. So you can rename this sequence, take one, shot one, anything that you want. It's going to put it inside the project folder for the project. Change the sequence length to 0, anything you want. Right now it's set to 60, so I'm going to change that to 0 in just a second. This way it'll run as long as I want it to. And then you can record audio or don't record audio. If you had audio coming from iClone, it would come into Unreal. So when you hit record, it starts counting down. You go over to iClone, and once it goes to 0, you press play, let it run through the animation there. And then once you're finished, you can press pause. And then go back over to Unreal and press stop. And that'll stop recording the animation. So now you've got a sequence recorded. You can open up that take one and actually go through the sequence. Now you see there's 2 characters there. So what it does is it creates a copy of the character, one animated and one stagnant. So if you play this, you would see both characters overlaying each other, one doing the action that you want, the other just standing there. So we need to kind of deal with that situation. This is a lot easier than exporting the FBX and then bringing that FBX into Unreal and all that stuff, but still this seems like a little quirk that would be great to have resolved, so you wouldn't have to go through the process of turning this background character off. But the characters that have lightning bolts there are the ones that are in the sequence below. So those are the ones you ultimately want to have rendered in this sequence. So this is a button here where you can hide certain things during the gameplay. So gameplay is basically when it's being rendered out. So you're going to want that person to be visible. And you can see cameras don't have that same option to hide them during gameplay. If you turn all those characters off, then you scrub the sequence, you'll notice that they all turn back on because it must reactivate the character. But what we want to do is turn off the original character, the ones without the lightning bolts, and we want to make those the ones that don't render out. So the original one without the lightning bolt, that's what we want to eventually turn off. So if we turn off all this original ones, play it, you can see now they're gone from this preview, but they're not actually gone from the rendering gameplay, basically. So let me trim this up really quick because I know I want it to stop right here and I want it to start about right here. This is just kind of a test, so I don't have to be too exact with that. And I'll just render this really quickly. And all I've done is basically turn the layer off. I'm going to set this to 1920 by 1080. Keep everything kind of like it is. Video sequence AVI. You've got some other settings there. I could turn audio on if I had some audio, but I don't on this. It tells it where to save it, the output directory. And we'll capture movie. It wants you to save before it runs through this process. And then it captures it, and you can see the guy already in the background there is hanging out all still up against the wall. So we need to resolve that. So I'm going to close this. If we go back and watch under saved, video captures, we'll open this. And you can see the character that is moving looks pretty good. It's got motion blur. Everything's kind of lit really well, rendered pretty good. We just need to get rid of this guy in the background. So I'm going to select the original character here, and I'm going to scroll down to rendering. And I'm going to say actor hidden in gameplay. So I'm going to hide that actor and I'm going to turn him off right here. Now the camera doesn't have the same options. As I said before, there's no rendering hide during gameplay or anything for that, so we don't really have to worry about that. And same thing for the camera. For the light, excuse me. So we'll just leave those alone. So basically you just have to turn off the one character and it's going to disappear from the rendering. So let's just reduce this a little bit and we'll render out a new video. It automatically names it with a new name, so it's not overwriting your same name that you've created. It wants to save and render this out really quick. You can see already that the person's gone from the background. And this little preview is just a small preview of the window. If you go to the full view, you see, if you go to that video you just created, it records the full camera view. So there's more of the action. I didn't position the camera very well for this action, but you can get the point. now the character's there alone and working properly. So hopefully this video was helpful and you were able to take something of value from it. If you have more questions, let me know. If you want to see more content like this in the future, please let me know. And I hope you have a great day and fun creating.